I feel like shit.
Monday, happy days. Wednesday, happy days.
It's just one of those
happy days. The weekend comes, let's not go on.
It's just one of those days where you don't wanna wake up. Everything is everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you wanna justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact, and if you interact, your life is on contract. Your best bet is
Just knock it off, you scumfuckhead.
it's just one of those days. It's just one of those.
Happy days.
It's just one of those.
Happy days.
It's just one of those
Happy
days.
The weekend comes, let's not go on. Ready to make
It's just one of those days, feeling like a freight train. First one to complain, please with the blood stain. Damn right, I'm a maniac. You better you, cause I'm fucking up your program. And if you're stuck up, you just locked up. Next in line to get fucked up. Your best bet is to stay away, motherfucker. It's just,
I'm losing my cool.
it's all about
happy days.
It's just one of those,
Happy days.
it's just one of those
Happy
days.
The weekend comes, let's not go on. Ready to make
Feel like shit. My suggestion is the distance. Right now I'm dangerous. Right now I'm dangerous.
Something's happening to the farm.
My day keeps going this way and this way.
I'm gonna pop you one so you'll start playing games.
Give me something free. Give me something free. I hope you know I'm like a chainsaw. A chainsaw. A motherfucking chainsaw.
What?
So come and get it.
What we got here is a case of mistaken identity, you know?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chief Moody, and welcome to episode 23 of the Mood of the Nation podcast. How is everyone doing this fine Thursday evening? Let me start off by saying I do apologize that I couldn't make it on Sunday for stream. The reason why, well, I'm pretty sure you all may know why exactly, but again, for those that don't follow me on Telegram, the reason why I couldn't do a stream this past Sunday was because I was out on Sunday with some of the lads from PA Scotland. We were at a certain location called Calendar Park, of course, in Scotland. We were doing some litter picking. Now, with PA Scotland, I've done some stuff before with them, say leafleting. I've done some hiking with them, including like banner drops and all of that, especially stuff that happened earlier this year with Indigenous Peoples Day. But that day, it was the first time for me that I did some litter picking with some of the guys. So really good stuff. I really enjoyed myself that day. I wasn't expecting it to go on that length of time throughout that evening. But again, it was great company to be around. Great job we did. We had quite a few, couple of good praises from members of that community. So I'm not entirely too sure if it's going to be the same for this weekend or if it's going to be the following weekend. But again, we'll definitely see from there. So there's a bit of an update with that at the moment here. So let me have a look and see who's in the chat. Quite a few familiar faces. I think a couple of new faces in terms of who's showing up here. So let me have a look here and see. Of course, we got Budgie. How you doing? Good evening, Chief. Have you seen Hugo Talks' latest video? Have celebrities got blood on their hands? Must see. I've not seen that so far, although I did have a check on YouTube to see if it's like a channel I might recognize, but I haven't seen anything like that at the moment, Budgie. So I'll definitely have a look at that later on and see from there. So there's Steve Cray. How you doing? We've got Amanda Lee, as per usual. Thank you very much. Fee F. Hello, everyone. Hello, Fee. How you doing? Thank you for watching the stream. We also have Homa Talk. I think I've seen you before in other streams and other chats, but even though I never got to catch the stream live, good change in my schedule. Well, no worries, Homa Talk. Thank you very much for watching the show. So if you're new here, please subscribe and also hit the like button. If you, of course, if you haven't done so already, that kind of thing. So, but thank you for being here. Good Goy, even brothers and sisters, 14, even to you too, good Goy. We also have English Rose. How you doing? English Sailor, hello, how you doing? Thank you for watching the stream. We also have What Tyler 1381, how you doing? Fiev again. Protests at Scottish Parliament on the 2nd of September at 11:30 a.m. against the transgender agenda. That's going to be interesting. I think that's going to be on a Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let me see if... What date was it? Sorry, it was the 2nd of September. Yeah, so 26th is today. That's literally next week, right? Well, I don't know if I'll be able to make it since that's I'm going to be at work at that point. Even then, if I'm going to take a holiday, I just need to be like a week's notice kind of thing. So I'm out on that one. So, but it would have been something I wish I would have known prior to tonight, and maybe it could be something I could check out for myself. Who knows? But anyway, but there's that. If you're interested, then please head to the Scottish Parliament and speak out against this, especially what the Scottish Parliament really want to do with our current 4-year-olds, which is teaching them about transgenderism to begin with. Of course, I talked about that last episode, so the less mentioned about that, the better. But there you go. There's James Smith. How you doing? Thank you for watching. We also have II. We also have Dragon Energy. Hello all. Hello to you too. We have Rory Herber. Hail to the Chief. Well, hail to you too, Rory. Thank you very much for watching. We also have Jojo Gizmo. Even has the nickname Moodster, so that's great. Thank you very much, Jojo. Thank you for watching the show. We also have Dogskin. Boyan. Thank you very much, Dogskin. Thank you very much for watching the show. Whoop whoop. Hello to you too. Thank you for watching. Let me see. Boom boom at Kabul airport this afternoon. I have heard about that. I haven't read too much into that at the moment, but I have heard about there was a certain attack at that airport in Afghanistan earlier on. So it's I'm sure there'll be more details coming out soon. So, but we'll definitely see from there. So, Killing Angels, how you doing? And I think there's still more to. Oh, Sensum Communum, how you doing? Thank you for watching. Henry Hill, thank you for watching the show as well. Ragnar71, thank you for watching. Who else? I just want to see who else is here. I will be there and take vids. Well, that's good for you. That's good to hear. I'm sure we could definitely have a check on that later on. Again, see from there. So, No Name, thank you for watching the show as well. And I think that's about it so far. Oh, of course, there's Jacqueline Wap. Hello, Jacqueline. How you doing? Thank you for watching the show. And also, I want to give a shout out to people who've shared the stream. Of course, such as Patriarchal Alternative. I believe Charlie Big Potatoes with PA Talk also shared the stream as well. Again, and also Fascist Fitness. Those are really good to see. I really do appreciate that. Thank you very much for sharing the stream. Also, another familiar face. Hold on. Kitchen Skillet. Thank you very much for watching the show. I made it on time. Well, that's good to see, Jacqueline. You have definitely made it on time. So, but nice to see you here, regardless. So, excellent. So, yes, I know I did say that at some point I was going to have a guest on. They are definitely coming on tonight, and it's going to be 2 guests on with me this evening. I'm pretty sure everyone has already knows who's going to be the guest for tonight's episode, which will definitely come up in just a short second. Also, if you hear any background noises, that's my windows are open again, just get some fresh air in kind of thing. So my apologies in advance for that. So I'll just wait just a little bit just for them to appear on the show. So it's I don't know about you all, but I'm actually getting a little bit nervous about it. I mean, even though I've had guests on the show before, such as No Chance, even though that wasn't technically a Mood of the Nation episode, it was prior to that. But again, he was still a guest on a live stream anyway. I would even say the first guest I had on the show was Scott's Armor. But I don't know, when it comes to these two I'm going to have on, I'm sure it's going to be a great appearance, but I'm still a little bit nervous with that. So hopefully the show goes well, but we'll just see from there, of course. So Spybot, hello, how you doing? Thank you for watching the show. Right, excellent. Right, yeah, of course, I did mention everyone in the chat, so Samsung Communum as well, so yeah, that's good. And also Samsung Communum, again, you've also shared the stream, which again, I really do appreciate that. Thank you very much for that. So when my guests come on, let's see here. QDM, thank you for watching the stream. I really appreciate you being here. So what to talk about? So what I will say just now is that I will be streaming this Sunday at 6 p.m. for episode 24 of the Mood of the Nation podcast. This is where after that episode goes live and it's all done and dusted. And there's Laura Towler. Hello, Laura. Thank you for watching the show. Almost home. That's good. Share on Gab. Well, thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate that, Cuddy. Sorry if I butchered your name. I do apologize. So, what was I going to say? Yeah, so I'll definitely see if I can go live this Sunday. Of course, I know that this past Sunday I couldn't make it due to the fact I was out that day, but I'm hoping that I'll make it for this Sunday because I'm going to be out again with some guys of PA Scotland. But again, it's going to be relatively much earlier compared to last week. So hopefully I'll make it back in time. I'm not entirely too sure, but on that Sunday coming, which I believe is going to be the 29th. Yeah, so this Sunday, the 29th of August, it's from 6 o'clock GMT until 8 p.m. I will have another guest on, and I'll just say it outright. The guest who will be appearing on episode 24 of Mood of the Nation this Sunday will be none other than Urba Durbar. So look out for that. I'm sure more info about that will be coming along when the time comes. I don't know if there'll be any updates or anything like that at all, but anything that happens, whether it's myself or Urba Durbar or anything like that at all, we'll keep you guys posted if anything happens. Of course, any updates or anything like that at all. So, Spybot, have you heard about? Heard there was a terror attack at Kabul? Yeah. Someone in the chat as well. Sorry, it was Dragon Energy, I believe, that mentioned that earlier on that there was a terror attack that happened in Kabul. So, terrible stuff, of course, happened just now. So we'll need to see what happens with that. So. Killing Angels, Herbs Quality. Yep. So I actually cannot wait for him to appear on the show this Sunday. So hopefully, again, I do appear. I don't miss out or anything like that at all. So, Doskin, Hassan Piker getting eaten by his Eat the Rich crowd laughing at ass off. Well, to be honest with you, Docskin, is anyone really that surprised with someone like Hassan Piker? These people that claim to be communists and they want to, eat the rich, if you will, trying to make the rich pay their taxes or anything like that at all. And yet they turn out to be like the biggest hypocrites on the planet. I mean, look, is anyone really that surprised to begin with of seeing someone like Hassan Piker being a massive hypocrite? Of course not. Oh, I'm not really that surprised, but it's like something like I don't know. Vosh comes out claiming to be a communist, but then owns like a $5 billion mansion or something like that. It's just I know it makes them look like massive hypocrites, but it's like at the end of the day, is anyone really that surprised to begin with? But anyway, that's just my take on the whole Hassan Piker. It's funny to see. But again, I don't think anyone really should be that surprised, to be quite honest with that. So, let me see. ISIS case sounds fishy to me. That's all to do with what's going on in Afghanistan. I wonder if Biden it all will use the attack as an excuse to go back in. Hey, you never know. Maybe. I hope it doesn't happen, but then again, I keep seeing all these people, especially quote-unquote conservative types on like Twitter and other platforms, talking about how, this is so horrible what's going on in Afghanistan. All those poor women and children, they're gonna lose their civil rights and their democracies will be tampered with. It's like, look, let's just leave the Taliban and Afghanistan as it is, because look, we've had I've already made this piece already, but 20 years have gone by, and the Taliban, after 20 years of trying to not take over, but trying to help the nation of Afghanistan, clearly it never worked. So there's really no point in it whatsoever. So I think, for me anyway, it's a case of let's just leave them the hell alone. There's no bother when it comes to the Taliban and also Afghanistan. So we have Scott's Armor in the chat, Even's Chief and Even chat. Hope all is well. thank you very much for being here, Scott Sommer. Really appreciate you joining in. And also, thank you very much for watching. Really do appreciate that. No name again. I'm saying this supposed suicide attack is Mossad. No reason for the Taliban to do this. They're already in control. I don't need the heat. It's interesting when it comes to that, to say the least. But of course, my whole thing was let's just leave it the hell alone. Let's let the Taliban do their own thing and all that kind of stuff. So, but I think it would be interesting to see more info coming out about that. But again, it's just a case of we'll just wait and see from there. So, we'll just need to wait and see. Vosh is a front wheel. Damn. He is a full wheeler, of course. A full spy bot, multiple US military killed too. Oh, Jesus. Full Stein when it comes to Vosh. Yeah. Let me see here. Oh, there was one of them in the background just now. That's good. Hold on 1 second. I'll just finish off the. Let's see. Oh, both of them are in. Right, that's good. Cool. So it's completely separate. Right. Okay, that's fine. So let me just a couple more chats, and then we'll see from there. I'll just let them in the stream. Let them get on with it. That's what I'm saying earlier on when it comes to the Taliban. That's fine. 20 years and so many lives lost on all sides, and for what? Exactly. English rules. Exactly that. P is a honeypot. There you go. Right, so let me just introduce to you all my guests for this evening. Of course, these two don't need an introduction or anything like that at all. I mean, everyone knows who they are. They're the most well-liked, well-respected members within, not just within Patriotic Alternative, but you could say in nationalism in general. Hold on, sorry, just real quick. Galileo's tongue. Afternoon, all. Why didn't you wait for me before starting? One. Sorry, Galileo. I just have to start at my usual time, of course. So, but anyway, sorry. But yeah, so you could even say the two guests I'm going to bring on just now are the power couple within the nationalist movement, if that's accurate to say. But hey, that's all that when it comes to that. So, let me introduce you all. This fine evening, both Sam and Laura Towler.
Hey.
How's
it going?
Yeah, not bad. What about yourself?
Yeah, we've just got in. We ran through the door and we're actually 20 minutes late, so sorry about that.
No, that's totally fine.
So I had to come and bring them in.
Yeah.
With the headphones.
I don't know. Is it weird that we're on camera and you're not? Should we turn them off?
It's fine either way. It's just no worries whatsoever. So, but no, I'm stuttering. Sorry, I'm just a little bit nervous tonight because obviously I've had guests on the show in the past, but just having both of you on who are, of course, well known and very well respected within the community. Of course, there was a sense, from in my opinion, I'm like, right, a lot of people are going to be watching this. So hopefully, nothing goes wrong or anything like that at all. But well, hey, we'll see from there. So we'll see. We'll definitely see with that. What I was also going to say as well is for you guys being the guests on, this is just going to be a case of just like a casual chat, getting to know each other a little bit more. Even though I've seen you guys in other streams in the past, but just for this episode of Mood of the Nation, and also for people watching, for more context or anything like that at all, that's basically just the gist of it, that kind of thing. So I do have a couple of other topics we can go over, and then, of course, as I said, we'll definitely see from there. So is that good to go so far?
Yeah.
Excellent. Right, perfect. So what I normally do is whenever I have a guest on, whether it be No Chance or Scott Sommer in the past, and I know it's a bit of a cliche to do at this point, but usually what I do is I would ask them what got them into nationalism to begin with. So I guess we could maybe start from there if that's okay. Is what was it that got you into nationalism? And we'll just pretty much start from there. So,
do you want to go first, or shall I?
Yeah, I can roll. I was hanging out on things like 4chan and everything like that as when I was a kid, teenager, and then just started delving deeper and deeper into this stuff. And in my 20s, I think it wasn't until my mid-20s until I actually became active, and I started looking around at various things. I attended a Yorkshire forum. I think it's set up by the guys who do Heritage Destiny. That was good to see a few speakers. I got to meet one of the guys who was like in the NBU, like what the BUF became. I actually met one of those, like an actual black shirt and everything. And I think there were some other speakers as well, giving a bit of history of the area. And one of the things they brought up was the amount of support Mosley had in, I think it was Halifax. And it was basically the largest political rally the North had ever had was held in Halifax. And from there, I was just kind of just trying to find something that fit me, really. And especially as, kind of maturing into your ideological state that you kind of hold in. I've been kind of steady for the last few years. So I think I'm probably where I am now. I don't see myself changing, really. And after a few, little jaunts here and there, PA started up, and I was like, this sounds like something I can really get behind. Obviously, I tried doing For Britain, trying to pull them further right, but that didn't work. As soon as they found out who I was, it was straight out the door. So it's with PA, I've been able to be open about my views and looking towards a solution. And I think through PA, we've got a really good vehicle here to actually make a difference.
For me, it was living in Bradford. So I'm from Leeds originally and live in Leeds at the moment. But my friend went to university in Bradford, so I lived with her for it was supposed to be 2 years, but we left a bit early. And I moved from this village that was just entirely white to Bradford, where it was like majority Muslim. The area that I lived in was it was like over 90% Muslim. And it was just such a wake-up call to me. I was like, these people are not like us. We can't do this. And then after I graduated from university, I got this job where I had to travel around the country quite a lot. So I went to places like London for the first time, Birmingham, Leicester. I went to Slough, all cities where the white British are now a minority. And I was just like, damn, this is happening across the whole country. So it was about 5 years ago that I became involved with, first of all, with Defend Europa, which is a European news and opinion website. Started writing articles for them, and then started my own YouTube channel, which is now suspended, but made friends with Mark and other people in the British nationalist scene. And I was just really excited when Mark announced PA, and he was like, we're getting off the internet now, we're not just going to make content trying to wake people up, we're actually going to do something. And he asked me to speak at the first PA conference, and I said yes. And then that speech went well. So after that, he asked me to be the deputy leader, and I said yeah. So PA has been going for almost 2 years now. It will be 2 years next month, actually. And just going from strength to strength, like numbers keep shooting up. Regional groups are just getting bigger and bigger, and the activism that we're doing, the community work that we're doing, it's just fantastic working there.
Excellent. I actually can't believe it's been almost 2 years since PA started, because when I first joined it, I think it was around about, was it last year in October or November or something like that? But it's kind of crazy to think that it's been almost 2 years, and the fact that it's been getting bigger and bigger and far more successful over time. So, but hey, what can you really do? It's really good to hear that regarding to Patriotic Alternative. So really good stuff.
What was it that brought you to PA at that time?
Oh, me? Well, I didn't want to make it about me for the show, but since you're my guest, but if you're interested, so what got me into it really was that I've even expressed this before in the past, but because of course I said in the past that I was a civic nationalist before I became an ethno-nationalist, but what got me more into PA was two things. Well, three things to be honest. First thing, as I mentioned before, was because of Black Lives Matter. Of course, we all remember the riots that happened last year in America and also here in the UK. And that was like a big wake-up call for, of course, not just for myself, but a lot of other people when it comes to Black Lives Matter and the concept of race, that, you know, maybe race does play a factor within society, whether it's UK or in America or Europe or anywhere else for that matter. So that was the first thing that put me on the path to a more red pill road, if you will, that type of thing. The other thing that got me more into, well, not just PA, but ethno-nationalism in general, was really, and I mentioned this before, but it was and I'm sure you all know what I'm going to talk about when I mention this, it's the debate between Laura and Ricky Doolan, if you remember that. So
Yeah.
of course, the whole passport meme aside, and the whole 8 million meme aside, that was one debate that I watched. I remember I watched the entire thing. Well, okay, not really the entire thing, because I remember the first half an hour, everyone waited for the whole show to start, but that's beside the point. But I did watch the entirety of the debate, and I remember just thinking how badly, because I don't want to make this like a bitch fest for civic nationalists or anything like that at all. But I remember watching it thinking, like, this was, I mean, Laura did really well in that debate. Ricky Doolan was a massive, a complete travesty throughout, from beginning to end, throughout that entire debate. And that was one of the major things, well, BLM and also that debate, where I was just like, you know what, I don't want to be a civic nationalist anymore. I need to be honest with not just everyone around me or my subscribers, because of course I was a content creator back then, but I should be a lot more honest with myself when it comes to what the real issues that's going on just now in our current society. I could even say, well, the third thing that got me into this movement to begin with PA and also nationalism to begin with, it kind of ties into the whole debate with Laura and Ricky Doolan to begin with. But the reason why I kind of walked away from the CivNat scene and moving over to this side of the fence of the right wing or whatever was because I was just sick and tired of, like, these civic nationalists claiming to be, you know, conservatives and all about for free speech and all of that. But it turns out they're not really about that. They're just complete LARPers, in my opinion. I mean, we've seen people or groups like, you know, like supporters of Sargon of Akkad, you know, Tommy Robinson supporters and all of that. You know, these people claiming to be conservatives, quote unquote, but they're not really conservatives regarding to that. So, and when it comes to PA, I just looked at the website, looked at the manifesto, and I'm thinking, yeah, this seems to be like a group or a party or organization I would definitely be a part of. And I think it was Cyborg and Blue Monday at the time private messaged me on, I don't know if it was Telegram or another platform, but they asked me, hey, you know, we've seen your video that you made about Ricky Doolan and all of that. You know, we notice you're kind of getting more part with all these groups and all of that. I've seen you in the chats and all these other streams. Would you maybe be interested in being part of PA Scotland? And I'm thinking, well, what have I got to lose, really? So I thought I might as well just join it. So, and there we are. So almost a year later, and yeah, I haven't regretted it since. So it's awesome.
That's good to hear, man. Good to have you on board.
Yeah, it's been an interesting year because this was the year that we got suspended from everything. So me and Mark lost our Twitter, we both lost our YouTube, we lost our Facebook account. We even got suspended from Instagram, where we used to just post like non-political stuff, and we were worried that it would hit us, you know, in terms of growth. But it's the PA update tomorrow night. Me and Mark will be doing that on Friday night. And July this year was actually our fastest growing month, and we recruited more new people to PA than we ever have done. And it's mad because the amount of attacks that we get from the state, Hope Not Hate, Antifa, etc., have really accelerated over the last few months, but it doesn't stop our growth at all. And the top place where people hear about us and join us is word of mouth. You know, it's just people talking about PA or telling their friends about it, and then they come and check us out and join us. And August, we haven't obviously finished the month yet. There are still a few days left, but I think August might actually beat July as well. So I don't know if it's like a summer thing, and maybe if people are, you know, more interested in getting out and meeting people and that kind of stuff. But it was a big relief for me and Mark, because we genuinely were worried that, you know, losing all our mainstream social media accounts, it would hit us. But I just think people are seeking out nationalism. You can't unlearn once you learn, and then you look at the big parties and you think, none of these people represent me. What alternatives are there? And obviously it's leading people to PA.
Excellent. Yeah, no, that was again really good to hear that. That again, the PA is getting a lot bigger and bigger as we go along. I was actually quite surprised that July was like the biggest month so far for PA, and hopefully August might again top that. So, also just a little side thing as well. I'm also kind of drinking Grandma Towler's tea. I mean, you can maybe say I'm kind of drinking that at the moment because both of you are on the show just now, but yeah, that's fine, no worries. But yeah, just a throwaway thing, kind of thing, like just right now. So, what I was gonna do now is since we covered about what got you into nationalism and all of that, it's good to hear about the stuff with PA. I thought maybe because of the type of show that I normally do, which is cover certain topics that are going on just now, like certain news articles and all of that. I do have a couple of news type of articles we can kind of have a look at. Some minor, some are major kind of thing. For the first thing I kind of wanted to talk about is an update with the Chris Donald petition, if that's okay with you both.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a really good topic, and it's disgusting what they've done with that petition. So yeah, happy to talk about that.
Excellent. So we'll just get right into that just now. So for those in the chat who may be wondering what exactly I'm on about, so I'll give you guys a little bit of a backstory, just short and sweet as possible. So Kenny Smith, who's our main guy within PA Scotland, he decided to open a petition for the new Glasgow bridge. I think it's the M8 bridge that's going to be opening up shortly. I don't know if it's opening up later this year or next year, but there's going to be a new bridge in Glasgow. I think it's like the new M8 bridge, if I'm not mistaken. So there's been like talks as to what this new bridge should be called. Should it be named after someone or anything like that at all? It was going to be talked about. It was going to be named after a foreigner who was like a migrant that came over to Scotland, who was murdered by another immigrant, if I'm not mistaken. I have talked about this in a previous episode on the show. I don't know if it was last week's episode or the episode before that, but I have talked about this before. So, but anyway, long story short, the petition itself got spread out. I even shared the petition on the show as well. We garnered almost 4,500 signatures for that petition for the bridge to be named after Chris Donald, which was really good news to begin with regarding to that. That is until yesterday happened. I'm sure it was yesterday, but I remember seeing all across the Telegram groups of everyone was not happy with this whatsoever. Of course, understandably so. So let me just see if I can share the screen, and then that way we can have a look at that as well together. So let me see. Share the screen. Yeah, share audio. Again, just in case. So what I'll do first of all is just showcase the website itself. As we can see here, 38 degrees, the petition itself. This petition is no longer live on this website, which makes you think, well, surely it must be like a glitch in the system. Like maybe it's like that, but if you actually maybe refresh the page, maybe it might be working okay. Refresh the page and see from there, it's no longer there. We have taken down this petition because it breaks our terms and conditions. As such, we are not prepared to host this petition. Read the full terms and conditions here. What I also have here is a screenshot that was from, I think it was like an email that Kenny received from the 38 degrees. So, of course, if you don't mind me doing so, of course, from Kenny's point of view, I'll just read out the message that was sent to him from 38 degrees. So it reads here, "Hi, Kenny. A 38 degrees site administrator has flagged your campaign, named the new Glasgow M8 bridge in honour of Chris Donald as inappropriate. Your campaign has been hidden from other users on the site. A site admin said, Dear petition starter, we have taken down this petition because it breaks our terms and conditions. This petition seems to be primarily aimed at promoting division and racism, which breaks our terms. It is also attracting a large number of inappropriate racist comments, as such, we are not prepared to host this petition. You can read our full terms and conditions here, of course, the link for the terms and conditions. Edit your petition to correct this issue, or thanks, the 38 degrees team." So, of course, that was, as I said yesterday, regarding to that horrible news. Almost 4,500 signatures that garnered from that petition just completely gone, just like that. And all because I don't know, for some reason, as I said in that message, it was deemed as inappropriate, like comments being said in the petition, despite the fact I've seen through the petition before, the comments and all of that. I don't know about anyone else, but I myself have not seen any inappropriate comments being made whatsoever. The only type of comment I've seen was, well, what's wrong with the idea of a bridge being named after Chris Donald, that sort of thing. But obviously I've seen that throughout the PA Scotland Telegram groups, and yeah, it's absolutely disgusting. For me, it just showcased once again that there's clearly an agenda being set. There's clearly some kind of anti-white rhetoric being spread across, not just here in Scotland, but all across the UK. Of course, you can maybe make the argument that Scotland is far worse, but again, that could be getting into at some point later on the show or anything like that at all. But overall, this is completely 100% disgusting, that the fact that they've done this. So since I got you both on the show, and of course this was one of the topics to talk about, just what exactly was your opinion on this topic at hand?
Well, what was interesting is that the Glasgow Times actually wrote an article publicising the petition to begin with and shared a link to the petition. And then they found out that Kenny had organised the petition. And then they wrote another article condemning the petition, and this time didn't include the link. And then it was removed. So we're in a position now where if you are a bad person, according to the left, then when you do something good, that's also bad. Do you know what I mean? It's like they agreed with the petition and they were happy to publicise it for us and for the bridge and for Chris and his family and everything. But then when they found out that it was Kenny, they don't like Kenny. They're like, oh, disgraceful. What were they saying? Trying to manipulate the public into doing something. And they said it was sick and distasteful and all this stuff. Bearing in mind that they were trying to name the bridge after an asylum seeker to begin with. And they never said that that was manipulative or using him or politicised or anything like that. That's fine. But when a nationalist like Kenny, a pro-white advocate like Kenny does it, it's the worst thing ever. And I think it was a brilliant example that we can use to highlight their hypocrisy. And just like you, I didn't see any negative comments below the petition at all. I just saw people saying, yeah, I support this, I support Pierre, Kenny's a good guy. They were saying that the asylum seeker who was killed wasn't killed in a racist attack, but Chris Donald was, because his murderers like literally said we've killed him because he's a white boy. I didn't see any bad comments, but the hatred that you get from the politicians and the media just for raising awareness about someone, it's disgusting. And lots of people actually in the comments were saying, I hadn't actually heard of Chris Donald until I saw this petition. So it's thanks to people like Kenny that the public know about Chris Donald, because the media certainly don't talk about it and the politicians certainly don't talk about it. They want to talk about George Floyd and Stephen Lawrence.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm actually glad you brought that up, because it does, as we said before, show a clear double standard regarding to that. So it's completely fine to showcase people like St. George Floyd as like this great noble guy that he was, despite the fact he was a massive criminal degenerate, as we mentioned before. And even I'm actually I can't believe I'm forgetting about the foreigner's name, the Glasgow Council are going to name this bridge after. But again, to me, it just showcases once again that they would rather focus on people who weren't even born and bred within the UK, but rather help out and focus on like foreign people that are coming in here. Of course, I don't know if you both want to also get into the whole Afghan situation with these Afghan immigrants coming into the country as well. But before we do that, again, if you don't mind, if you don't mind me asking, Sam, what was your opinions on this whole petition that happened?
I thought it was ridiculous. I mean, it's they've done this a few times now, where basically someone who has sympathies towards nationalism can do something, and it can be perfectly fine, but they will label it as if it's like evil. Sorry, I'm just gonna put the headphones on because I'm echoing through Laura's. It's really confusing. It's fine. You can play it. I can't hear you now. And yet, in this case, they'd garnered 4,500 signatures in support. I don't believe the asylum seeker one was even kind of put up to a public kind of thing. It was just like the council's doing it. There's no choice about it at all. It's just happening. And then it's like, well,
I think it was a petition.
Oh, was it?
Because I think it had something like 400 views, 400 signatures or something.
Right.
And Kenny's had more than 10 times as much, 4,500 signatures.
Yeah, so it shows that there's actual support for this. So in this case, what they'll do, well, we'll just get rid of the support, and then they can't see it. So if we can't see it, it's not happening, and we can just move on with the plan that we always had in mind. I mean, it wasn't like they were blasting this petition out like, oh, come and sign it, because it's the name of a bridge. It's like, it's not that important really. So they were like, all right, we'll just get a little dig in, a little anti-white dig in. About this guy who's supposedly an asylum seeker, although I looked into it and his uncle was saying like, he was planning on coming home. So, and it's like, well, you're not quite an asylum seeker if you've got the option of just, trekking back home whenever you feel like it. And it's like, it's just, I can't believe that they've just like, we'll just shut it down. It's infuriating, because it's like, well, we're trying to play your game. You want to do the whole signatures thing and appeal to the public, and it's like, okay, we're going to appeal to the public. Yeah, we're going to shut you down. We can't have you appealing to the public. It's like you're kind of forcing us down a certain alley, and it's like we don't want to go down it. But you're making it where the only way we have a voice is to do, like go out there with a microphone and shout at people, because it's like, you've kicked us off all social media. We're on your media now, was it 38 Degrees or whatever, which is just full of lefty stuff. And it's the average person on the street thought, this is a better thing to name the bridge after, one of our own. But instead they've just shut them down. It's infuriating, because I thought we were going to have a really good win there.
And also they'll now use this as an excuse to not have to name it after Chris Donald, because they've deleted the petition, so it doesn't exist anymore. Those signatures don't exist anymore. So now they've got their excuse where they can name it after a foreigner if they want to. But somebody just mentioned in the chat that they did this with you, Sam. Do you remember that cenotaph that you went to other side of Leeds and cleaned up?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Is like there's no this kind of leftist kind of stuff. It's like a church from no salvation. There's no way out. It's like you could help, dying children. You could pull them out of the sea, and they'd find some way. In which case, it's like, well, he's a Nazi, so clearly he was actually, they'll play the video in reverse and have you like dragging the child towards the sea and drowning them, and it's like they'll be like, "See, told you." And it's with this cenotaph thing. It was literally, it's like a relative of mine is on the cenotaph, and someone had mentioned, "Oh, it's looking a bit of a state. The council isn't taking care of it." So I was like, "All right, I'll go down there and take care of it." And I did that. Wasn't political at all. Just did it, and then. Yorkshire Evening Post got in touch, and they were like, we want to do a story on the thing you did. And I was like, are you sure? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, all right then. And I was like, all right, I'll get a little dig at Leeds counselling or whatever. But then it was live for about a week or something like that, and then I think Antifa figured out that it's like, they're promoting him, and you should have seen Twitter was mad. It was like people are like, how much have they paid him for this article? And it's like, I don't think you understand how journalism works. And it's like, this is clearly some sort of plan by it, and it's like, it wasn't, dude. You're really overthinking this. And there's just like, if I gave all this up tomorrow, my name is forever tarred. Whatever I do, I'm doing it because I'm a nationalist, and it's like I'm trying to put secret nationalism in people's minds. It's like, while I was weeding the cenotaph, someone walked by and I said, "Oh, hi, have you heard about the demographic change or something like that?" It's like it just wasn't happening. But there's just no way out for them. And
Sam didn't even publicise it because it wasn't a political act. It was just him being a good person, travelling somewhere, cleaning something up, and then leaving. And then when the Yorkshire Evening Post got in touch with Sam, we were like, well, there's no downside to doing it because it's over with now. We're not in that area anymore. So it's not like when they publish their article, we're going to be there and they're going to come and attack us. We thought, sure, we'll do this article. Antifa went mad about it. And then they ended up deleting the article about a week later, just because Sam is a Nazi.
They were like tagging the head of
and it was
Yorkshire
like,
Evening Post.
so what you're saying that if somebody's bad according to the far left, then their good deeds should not be reported. Like, you're supposed to be an unbiased newspaper. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not supposed to be like, oh, we support these people or we don't support these people. If it's news, it's news. It doesn't matter who does it. But they revealed their hand, I think, and showed us how political they are in doing that. And yeah, it's one of those things where I don't think you can do something and people not see you as political, because once your views are out there, like, everything you do is political. Even if you don't want it to be political, they will make it political.
Yeah, it's when it comes to that, it's a sad fact of reality, but that's just the way it is, really. I mean, it's terrible, but again, it's what it is. I just want to kind of go back on to Chris Donald just for a brief minute. In terms of the possible reasonings as to why they may have closed down the petition to begin with, it's just something I kind of just thought of just now. Do you think maybe it's also to do with what happened at Ben Nevis with the banner drop with PA Scotland?
In what way do you mean, sorry?
Oh, sorry. And what I mean is that because PA Scotland went to Ben Nevis, they did a banner drop that says, of course, White Lives Matter. The Scottish publications, including the National, talked about it to death. In fact, I think there was 5 or 6 articles relating to the National talking about PA Scotland with that banner drop at Ben Nevis. So because they also kind of mentioned Kenny in that, I think, and Kenny opened up a petition to name the new M8 bridge in Glasgow named after Chris Donald. Do you think maybe those articles from the National, maybe that could be like another reason as to why they want to close down that petition to begin with, because of Kenny and because of what happened at Ben Nevis with PA Scotland kind of things?
Possibly, but I think they actually got a lot of information about Kenny from before he was with PA, when he was with the BNP back in the day. And I know they went to Hope Not Hate for a statement as well, and Hope Not Hate will have just said some rubbish about him. So that's what we mean about, like, once you're tarred with the nationalist brush, it doesn't matter if you do something good today, you can never redeem yourself according to these people.
It would be there.
The Ben Nevis one was sorry, keep muting myself because me and Sam are going to echo. The Ben Nevis stunt was just amazing, and it was actually international news. It was just everywhere, and it drew so much attention to PA. It was brilliant.
Oh yeah, well, it definitely was. I'm happy that they all did that with PA Scotland. The reason why I'm saying I'm happy that they did that, because of course I couldn't make it on that day. I didn't realize it was going to be the day they went. I think it was the 1st of August they went. Because I thought they were going to be going there literally the day before of the Indigenous Peoples Day, because that would have been something that would have gone along with, of course. But then I was maybe miscommunication or something like that. But at the end of the day, they went to Ben Nevis. They did their banner drop. What I've heard from people who were there, it wasn't as bad as what the national newspaper were making it up to be. But again, it's really good stuff that what they did. I mean, just seeing all these other platforms, especially Twitter, because I'm still surprised I'm on there to begin with, but just seeing all the people, like these lefty types that look at this whole article and just making a complete sperg of themselves, which is absolutely just funny to watch. But no, other than that, it's really good what PA Scotland did, and I'm hoping for tomorrow's episode of PA Update that maybe PA Scotland might win the competition. But again, don't want to be biased or anything like that.
No, I'm in that.
I don't want to be biased or anything like that. But again, we'll definitely see. So hopefully we'll win. But again, I don't want to jump ahead, but we'll definitely see. We'll see. So
yeah, Sam said that whoever's won is just going to give it to Yorkshire.
Yeah. I'm in charge of the engraving, so what I say goes.
Oh, excellent. Right. So what we'll do is, if for now, we'll just move on to the next topic. Because that was one of the things I was going to talk about. Of course, we covered that just now with Chris Donald. And I don't know if you both have talked about this before, but do you guys want to have a chat about what's going on in Afghanistan at the moment?
Have you seen what's just happened half an hour ago?
I've seen it earlier on, and I noticed people in the chat talked about it earlier on, but there was like some kind of an attack at the Kabul airport. Is that correct?
Yeah, which is funny because I read an article just this morning saying, I think it was the Defence Secretary of Britain or something like that, saying, I fully expect an attack in Kabul airport, which is strange that he would know ahead of time or have strong suspicions. It's like, yeah, I think we know what's going to go on here. This is going to be the same story we had with ISIS, where these bad things are happening. We need to help these people and speed up the evacuation, and just throw the floodgates open because. We've made arrangements to make things occur over there. It's sad, but I think pretty much everyone on the right was kind of expecting this as soon as they said there was, we're just going to pull out, and it's like, oh, here we go, ready for the gay ops.
Yeah, I mean, like, I have been kind of paying attention about here and there. Obviously, I've learned about all the stuff that's happening. I think, was it last week or the week before? Of course, the whole news about the Taliban taking over Afghanistan and all of that. But just seeing mostly the reaction from, as I talked about earlier on in the stream, all these, again, quote-unquote conservative types, your Ben Shapiro's and whatnot, kind of alluding to the idea of, hey, maybe we should kind of go back to Afghanistan, maybe just to help these people out, just to give them, or to bring them back their democracy and all of that. When it's like, look, we've had this war going on for 20 years. The Taliban just out of nowhere decided to come along and take it over. I think it was a complete waste of time and energy and resources, for that matter. I think at this point, it's probably a good idea to just let them go on with their own devices and leave them be. Let's just get out of there as soon as possible and just leave it at that. But that's my overall opinion. So hopefully it doesn't go as far as maybe we need to go back there just, again, to help these people. But again, it's just only we'll need to wait and see, especially with that attack happening earlier on. But I don't know, we'll see. So we'll see.
I honestly think we're seeing at the moment, I think they weren't expecting such a backlash against the kind of Afghan evacuation effort, but I mean, people are sick of foreign wars. They're also sick of the fallout from the foreign wars, meaning that our borders are thrown open to them. We were saying on the show on Monday that basically the only constant with our foreign policy is if we go over somewhere to fix something or we go there to mess things up, they've got to come back. And it's now, it's like we've pulled out, and it feels like they're managing to switch the narrative around, where, I mean, obviously recently the big thing for Tories and the right over in America as well, it's been like this kind of anti-foreign intervention kind of thing, like, bringing the troops home and everything like that. And they've managed to make it where bringing the troops home, obviously, Biden's done it, kind of set it off, and now the right are kind of like, stupid Biden, we need to get back in there. And it's like, hang on, it's like 4 years, it's like you got whiplash or something. It's like a few months ago we were all like, kind of like, yeah, bring our boys home, and then it's like, all right, we're bringing the boys home. Oh, the wrong guy did it. I want them back in there. It's just madness. I think the immediate withdrawal as well, it's clear this is, it's not like an accident where it's not like, we've lost and we're leaving. I think there's definitely another shoe that's going to drop some point soon. And I think that it's very much that it's not viable to do wars anymore. No one supports them. And I feel like the population is too apathetic to engender to, it's like, yeah, you want to go over there and beat them and stuff like that. And I think it's like, I mean, they might have to do something big like they've done in the past to really get a population moving on the kind of path to war again, because no one gives a damn. The right just wants to be left alone now. That's their big thing. It's like, smaller government, leave me alone. I just want to be in peace. And then the left is obviously, they're ostensibly anti-war, although even them have been turned to pro-intervention over in Afghanistan because they ain't got enough gays. It's like we need to flood them, make it the Rainbow Nation or something like that. And So it's like everything's turned on its head. It's like the right saying pull out, the left saying let's go back in there. The kind of rhetoric they're using as well. It's like these like backwards go effers and stuff like that, and you're just like, whoa, hey, and it's like really from you guys. But yeah, it's and then also, I mean, you just got to look at like the scale of people coming in as well. You'd think we had translators for literally every job. Like, you know, it's like, oh, we need a translator to read the road sign, to read this can of soup. You know, it's like get a translator in here, man. it's like apparently the entire population of Afghanistan was just assisting the coalition forces over there. It's wild.
It's been crazy to say the least. What's been happening there? There was one comment I wanted to respond in the chat. I think it was from English Sailor. If I can get that message up just now, because it's a pretty interesting question. Well, I can understand why I would ask this, but they ask, Chief Moody, should we leave Brits to be tortured? I'm assuming he's talking about still some British troops or people in Afghanistan, or even American troops or people still in Afghanistan there at the moment. I think obviously what's important is they should be evacuated as soon as humanly possible, obviously because of what's going on there just now. I don't think they should be left there to be tortured or anything like that at all. But even then, from what I've heard about people having their experiences with the Taliban trying to take over Afghanistan, it's really just a case of the Taliban. They're just there saying, look, we just want to take over. We're not want to harm anybody. We'll just let you off, and then that's it. You know, we're not one to call it. We don't want to shoot up people or anything like that at all. Or it's just go on your merry way. It was like, okay, we'll just leave. But again, that's from like one source. I'm sure there's like multiple other sources from other people's perspective on that. Yeah, so that's to do with Afghanistan. I'm sure there'll be a lot more information coming along later on. I'm sure more news is going to come out of this sooner rather than later. Although it's something that's I've been kind of thinking about as of late with this Afghanistan thing. With this whole thing that's happening in Afghanistan that going on just now, I kind of just think it's a little bit funny, although COVID is still like a major thing going on just now at the moment in the global news. But I kind of find it a little bit funny that it seems like people are more focusing and never bring up the topic of COVID when it comes to Afghanistan. It just seems to me as if like COVID, oh no, that's long gone. Like Afghanistan, that's like the major thing people are talking about now. But of course, I know that that's still the thing that's going on just now, especially here in the UK. But I just kind of think I find it a little bit funny that people are just like, well, the news in this case, the mainstream media are just like, no, COVID, that's. I mean, yeah, still relevant, but we're not going to talk about that. Afghanistan, well, we want to talk about this because who knows, maybe something might come out of this later on. But again, that's just my opinion on that. Laura, do you have any opinions on the whole Afghanistan thing by any chance?
Yeah, well, me and Sam have our lifestyle show that we do on a Monday, and we keep trying to not talk about politics and only talk about lifestyle stuff. But people keep asking us about Afghanistan, so we have answered the question a few times. But I mean, I'm a nationalist. I'm not a globalist, and I think foreign intervention, along with a centralized government and open borders, are like three traits of globalism. And one thing that's really annoyed me is seeing so-called patriotic or nationalist organisations in Britain who their take on Afghanistan is to share mainstream media news articles about the Taliban and then complain about radical Islam. And it's like, okay, so what's your suggestion? They're radical in their own country, so we should go and do something, or what? Or because if we do something, that's going to create more refugees who are going to come to Europe. It's just one of those things where it's kind of like no thought for the future. Do you know what I mean? And I've seen a couple of organisations posting stuff on Telegram, and it's similar to the kind of stuff that you see on The Guardian. I don't know why we think we have the right to inflict democracy and liberalism on the whole world. It's not up to us to do that. Each country should have self-determination and be able to run themselves. And sometimes bad stuff does happen in other countries. And, maybe there are some people that we can help out. That doesn't mean they have to become British citizens, but maybe there are some people that we can help out, but we cannot help the whole world. And then you also look at the people who are fleeing Afghanistan anyway. A lot of these are not good people. A lot of them are sexual perverts. A lot of them are thieves and criminals. A lot of them are traitors to their country. A lot of them have left their children behind as well. Why would we want to accept these people in Britain? And every other country, apart from white countries, every other country puts their people and themselves first. And I think we should do that. There are hotels now across the United Kingdom where you can't book a room for the next decade because they're full of migrants. This is the government anticipating illegal migrants coming across the channel, and potentially the people from Afghanistan as well. We're becoming a smaller and smaller percentage of the population, and it's a bad thing because it changes the makeup of Britain, but then there are also all the problems that come with it as well. Crime, grooming gangs, resentment from the minorities, soon to be majorities. So my take on Afghanistan, very simply, is just no foreign intervention to begin with. If it happens and we have to deal with it, just get out.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. Absolutely agree with that. But I think there was an article didn't read, but I had a short look at this morning. I can't remember who it was from. I don't know if it was from Breitbart or some other news publication, but from what I've read, it's to do with Afghanis in America so far. I think there's the first 100 in New York or in some well-known state in America. And what reads is 100 Afghanis enter the country, but already them have what was the phrase they used? It's already marked as like a terror threat or something like that. So obviously, clearly, that's a clear sign that these people really shouldn't be in this country to begin with. I mean, it's bad enough that they're coming in here without needing to bring a passport to begin, or even just that as a whole. But the fact that, and what I've heard from other people, is that the Afghanis are meant to be a lot more aggressive compared to any other Middle Eastern person in that region. So not only are you bringing in a bunch of people who are not required to bring their passports, but we don't have a single inkling of who they are as people, what their backgrounds are, what their education history is, what their criminal history is. But it's but here in the UK, it's oh no, let's just open the border and let's just bring them all in with open arms, and just hopefully they don't blow us up with a suicide belt. It's beyond ridiculous. And of course, the whole thing with some of these Afghanis are taking over these hotel rooms and going to be staying there for the next decade. It's you think that could be used for our own people in this country, many people who are homeless and need help living here and were born here, but no, they don't matter. Instead, let's just give it to a bunch of foreigners who shouldn't really be here to begin with, but then because of this 20-year-long war, they have complete resentment for us. So it's I guess we're just going to bring these Afghans into the country because it's more progressive, but it's just completely ridiculous, completely absurd, to be honest. But it's all of that. So sorry, what were we going to say? Sorry.
No, I think I think we're doing the right thing in supporting us leaving, and I think we're doing that. I think it's sticking to our guns as well. It's the kind of thing. I mean, it's similar to the Brexit pullout, where all right, I want to leave Europe, and then the government's done the worst possible job of doing that, and we're for the love of God, and they're oh, you didn't want to leave then, and it's no, we're not saying we didn't want to leave, just saying you did you have to cock it up that badly? And with the Afghanistan. Leaving Afghanistan, it's they're all right, we've just left all of the military stuff, and we're just going to have a vulnerable population just crowd around the airport as we kind of slowly taxi planes out and everything. You're just can we just get out now, please? And they're no, it's going to take a little while. And is that? Can I hear ISIS in the distance? Yeah, it's definitely ISIS. They're coming. God, if only we could get out fast enough. And it's oh, they're hitting us. And then it's oh my God. To bring ISIS back. It's how long's it been since you heard of ISIS? It was Syria with the kind of Assad's gassing all these people, and it's turned out it was ISIS. And then ISIS is kind of thoroughly exposed as a kind of CIA operation, and then they kind of, all right, just usher them away. You know, they had the white helmets, and they had like, you know, oh, this is an ISIS fighter, and then it's like, is that the same guy wearing a white helmet pretending to pull a kid out of a building? No, look away. This all got rumbled. They've kind of memory holed it, and then now they're leaving Afghanistan. It's like, hey, we're bringing back the classics. Here's ISIS again. You're like, I thought they were done. No, they're not done. No, they've just got an injection of cash and fresh nutters. So they're going to be rampaging around Afghanistan now. And this will now mean they'll have these attacks going on, and they can be like, see, the Taliban, they're not responsible enough. You know, just like Laura says, people aren't responsible enough to have house alarms that go off all night. It's like, these Taliban, they're not responsible enough. So we're going to have to go in there and give them a helping hand again. And it's like, oh, love of God. So it's it keeps happening. I want it to stop, but it just keeps happening.
Yeah. Well, that's that when it comes to Afghanistan. Again, maybe more news coming out, but we'll just need to wait and see from there. So, well then, just trying to think of like another topic. Those were the two I was going to talk about for today. Of course, we already covered them just now. Just in case, was there anything both of you want to maybe talk about on the show? Anything that piqued your interest, like topic-wise, or anything like that at all?
God, to be honest, with my own sanity, I don't really look at the news too much.
I look at the news because I run the PA social media accounts, but everything is just Afghanistan and COVID. Like, you'll go to the BBC page and like half the articles are Afghanistan, half of them are COVID, and then there's like one article about like some farmer that's like shaved his sheep or something. I don't know, like some really irrelevant like local news story. It's just dominating the cycle at the moment.
Oh, that's totally fair. Totally fair. What I'll do is I'll just quickly have a look and see, because maybe there was something I had to look into earlier on in terms of other topic to talk about. Because I also just want to, again, just watch out for the time and that. Because there was one thing I almost forgot to mention. At round about, I think it's either 7:15 or 7:30, there's going to be a certain person coming to the door just to drop something off for me, because I'm going to be using it for the weekend, like a drone type of thing.
All
so right. I don't know if they'll come in and maybe chat for a wee bit, because it's a case of they'll need to come, drop it off, and then go back to where they need to go to. So they might show up. I don't know, but we'll definitely see from there. So, what was I going to mention? Oh, that was something for Arbor Derber, which of course is going to be a guest for Sunday. I guess the one thing I could talk about, because it's something I did share on my Twitter page, was the video, Sam, you made with a PA Yorkshire, of course. Which first of all, that was a great video that, of course, you and the rest of the guys have done. So I was really happy to see that. I was also really just kind of seeing the back and forth of the comments on that Twitter page when it comes to the thread on what was shared on Twitter regarding to the video. It was obviously there were people that were very supportive. They were just so happy to see that. Like, oh, this is great. Like just seeing people from PA, talking about these Afghan migrants and people, we don't want them here. And then, of course, you got the other side of that where you have people who are just out of the woodwork, like, no, these foreigners need to be here. We're totally progressive, totally for these Afghanis coming in here. I mean, what could possibly go wrong with that? But other than that, it was a great video you did. I know you and Laura talked about it on this past Monday's episode of Tea Time with Sam and Laura. But yeah, I just thought I'd give you a bit of a shout out when it comes to that video. I think I shared it on Twitter and Instagram, I think, because I thought it was a really good video, and I thought I could help out by sharing it through other platforms, of course. So, but yeah.
For sure, because there's none of us left on Twitter, it's really annoying now, because you share something like that out and it's like all you get are the brain dead hatchlings who are left there, and you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah, Moody got bombarded by them, didn't you? I think did Mike Stutchbury retweet you or something?
Oh yeah, well, I think I seen a screenshot in one of the group chats where Mike Stutchbury retweeted something.
Oh, were you the one who got retweeted by Stutch? Oh Jesus.
Yeah, it was that one, which is so funny because he blocked me like ages ago, and I really have no idea why that was, because I think I might have interacted with him maybe the one time, and that was during the whole court case with Count Dankula, when he was being either verdict or when he was getting his whether he was getting sentenced or he was getting like a pay or something like that, like £800 fine or something along those lines. And I remember just like kind of responding back to Mike where he said something like kind of, you know, the lefty snarky douchebag or whatever he said at the time. And that was it. And I've never interacted with him ever since then, and never have done. And then, of course, I noticed he blocked me, and I thought, right, well, I guess not really much of a major loss, but oh, well, there you go. But then, of course, you have other people from the left, like Owen Jones blocked me, which I still have no idea. I mean, I'm not complaining, but I'm still kind of like, well, what have I done or said to him to begin with for him to block me? I don't know, but there you go. But no, I was completely bombarded with all the messages from people back and forth on that thread, and to see Mike Stutchbury make some kind of response, like retweeting. I'm assuming so that maybe he unblocked me, but then he blocked me again, so I couldn't really see it. But I don't know. I just thought it was really funny that he did that. So, but anyway,
he used to do it to me when I was on Twitter before I was suspended. I had him blocked, but he used to like screenshot my tweets. So obviously someone else must have got them, or he had another account, and then he used to post them on his channel with like a message to me, you know, like a really snarky comment. And I used to pick, sometimes people sent me them, but then I think people got sick of sending me them because I was like, I don't care. But I used to think you're talking to yourself because I can't see what you're saying because I have you blocked, and it's just so lame and passive aggressive and effeminate. So I think he probably did unblock you just to post that and then block you so that you couldn't reply. But he's not doing it for you to see it. He's doing it to show off to his followers who are as thick as him, because normal people look at his garbage and just think, what are you talking about? It's just absolute rubbish. And he said something about Sam the other day, and someone told me, and I guessed what he'd said about Sam, and it was right. It was just, it does this thing where he like pretends that he's not interested in us and that we're irrelevant, but then at the same time he obsesses about us. And I knew that he'd say something about Sam being quote-unquote national action, even though Sam's never had a conversation with anyone in national action. I knew he'd say something about that, and he's just so predictable. He's just a stupid idiot.
I think it's up to us now as well, I think, because so many people have lost their voices on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and stuff like that. For the ones who are more vocal and maybe a bit more able to, you know, project that voice out there, it's on us to make that noise, because now it's like, I mean, Twitter is essentially used as kind of like, here's the mood of the nation, and it's like, if you think this is the mood of the nation, it's like, oh my god, oh hey, that's the name of the show. It's used as like a barometer. It's like, oh, everyone wants Afghan migrants. It's like, oh, everyone wants open borders and people crossing the, and it's like, that's not what people want. But over the last decade or so, the public has basically been trained that it's like, if you're not with the liberal orthodoxy, you keep your mouth shut, and you've got to keep your mouth shut if you want to keep your job, if you want to keep your friends. It's like you've got to keep your mouth shut. And it's like, now Twitter is like, it's like the Running Man. There's like, you know, it's like you've got this hordes of leftists just like tracking down the last person who basically had no audience. You know, back when the big names were on Twitter, you know, these kind of lukewarm takes wouldn't have really accrued that much of an audience. Now that they're getting like tens of thousands of views, and it's like they're going like, oh, you know, I don't think we should take in infinity Afghans, and then it's like the leftists like jump on them, and it's like, oh my god, tear them apart. And that's the only voice that's left now, and it's really sad to see. But I think it also means that it's kind of pushing us to be more vocal and in more public ways. Because essentially that's the only way we're going to win this thing, is by reaching out to our people.
Oh, no, I totally agree. Sam. If you both can just excuse me for 1 second, I'm just going to get that door. I'll be right back. Okay. 1 sec.
This is now tea time with Sam and Laura. Welcome. We have claimed this space. Anyway, so let's talk lifestyle.
I wonder if people can hear an echo when you're unmuted.
Because I don't think you'll come through on mine, but I'll probably come through on yours. Yours picks up like the entire house.
All right, okay. Can the chat hear like an echo? But yeah, what should we talk about?
Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, it's
You're
back.
back.
Oh, sorry, I'm back. Let's see. So just got them in the house just now, which I'm actually surprised to show up.
It's the Avon lady.
Oh my god!
I recognise that voice.
I recognise that voice.
Soap.
The voice of a loser.
You know me, I like knocking on people's doors. So that's your thing.
That's my thing
All right.
for Sunday.
I'm
That's
going to
right.
get off, all right? Get back up the road, all right?
Yes, no worries. Yeah, thanks
Right.
very much. Yeah,
No worries. Cheers, Dave.
no worries. Take care.
Is that your phone?
No, that's not my phone. No,
It's not your mum's, is it?
no. I just go leave.
You're right, man.
Take care. Well, there you go. That was Cyborg there. Just like a bit of surprise. So there we go. Yeah.
We'll
So
always find a way to get on a stream, we'll say. Even if you have to travel to your house and cut in with it.
Yeah, well, pretty much. So, well, the reason why he came over was just to drop off the drone because I'm going to be using this for Sunday. I don't know if the guys at PA Scotland want to mention this just now or keep it as a secret, but it's going to be like a big project. So we've done some filming last week, and of course we're going to be doing more filming this Sunday. So,
I think I know which project that is.
Oh, is already out there yet?
I don't think it's out there. I think there's been talk in organisational chats, yeah, and it's
right. That's fine. Cool. So yeah,
as well and add it to yours.
Yeah, of course. So we'll definitely just keep it hush hush just for now. But no, that's fine. He dropped me off the drone, so I got that all set up here for Sunday. That's perfect. Cool. So yeah, surprise, another like third guest, I guess you would want to say. So anyway, so that's good to have him here. So but yeah, so what were we talking about? I think we were talking about the Twitter video that I shared about PA Yorkshire, was it? No, or something like that. I'm trying to remember, but then
we're about there. Yeah, I think we just concluded that really.
Right.
It is not real life.
Yeah,
concluded.
Twitter's not real life, and it does feel like you go out there and do that, and there's no one talking back to you. You know, for all these kind of on the Twitter, where like, oh, you know, if I saw that in the street, I'd stand up. You wouldn't. There's someone screaming in a megaphone, and you're going to come over and be like, oh, actually, it's like I'm just going to shout you down with my megaphone.
Me and Sam have started getting recognised, haven't we, over the last 6 months or so, when we're out and about, and it's always support. We've never had a single person who's recognised us and come over and said, I hate you guys are fascists. Every single person who's seen us in the street has come over and like, oh my God, I love your work and I agree with you about demographics and stuff. And these people think that they're the voice of the public, but they're not. They're just the voice of Twitter. And that's why when Labour got smashed at the last election, they were so shocked, because Twitter said that Keir Starmer was going to win. And then the same with Brexit, the same with Hillary Clinton versus Trump. They think that they're the majority because they're the only people left on Twitter. But in real life, it's not like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, of course. I remember when those things happened. I mean, the first thing was Brexit, then the presidential election, and then, of course, the general election. Yeah, I mean, again, just seeing like all these platforms are just like, what? But we're supposed to be the victors and all of that. But clearly, obviously, in reality, it proves otherwise. But yeah, it's really funny to see that all these people are just like, no, we're supposed to be the winners here, but it's like, no, it doesn't work like that. It's like we've just proven time and time again that, you know, Brexit, Trump, you know, regardless of what you think of him, of course, with the recent general election, it just shows that all of these woke agendas, if you want to call them, are just not that popular, and people have completely rejected them. So it's funny to see, but again, it's a case of just proving realities with that. So even Jody in the chat saying like, care who? So that's pretty funny, that, so it's good. So,
and then at the last election as well, when obviously Labour got smashed and the red wall of the north came tumbling down, they were like, oh, it's because the Labour Party are anti-Semitic. it's because they abandoned Jews. It's like, no, it's not. Jews are like 0.5% of the electorate. Nobody cares.
Yeah,
It was,
and they were attacking Tories for being like, you're more Islamophobic than we are, and it's like, what?
yeah, it's like Labour were destroyed because they abandoned the white working class, which is supposed to be their core voter base, and they prioritised global homo instead. They prioritised open borders, 57 genders. Or how many are we on now? 83? Awesome.
84. I just dreamt one up last night.
Jeremy Corbyn gave a speech as well. I think it was the day before voting, and gave his gender pronouns before he gave the speech. That's why you're losing. It's not because of anti-Semitism.
But again, that's like his advisors are in like an echo chamber where it's like, yeah, they're on Twitter, and Twitter's going, it's like, yeah, here's all my pronouns in my bio, and they're like, oh, all right, everyone's doing this. Absolutely, everyone is doing this, and it's like, no, dude, you've got some freaks who never leave the house who are doing this.
If you walked into like a working class pub or onto a council estate, like the estate where we lived, and gave your gender pronouns, you'd either get laughed at or you'd get headbutted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've always said it's like our guys need to get into trades, because if you ever want a job where you're not going to risk it, it's like, oh, HR is going to come down on me or something like that. It's like whenever I'm on site, it's like a stream like this, except normally they might not quite have the vocabulary to explain what they're feeling, but that only means it comes out in like a more crude form and a more honest form in a way. It's and that's what the majority of this country is made up of. But that's if you look outside of Twitter.
I was just also going to think just now, because I think it was a video I played on the show before. Do you both remember the video of like the Labour conference? You have all of these different kinds of people on stage, just like the most. I don't know how you want to describe them, but like the absolute like dregs of society, if you will. It was just like one of the most cringiest videos ever. It was like calling each other like comrades, like here and there, and all of that. Like, I don't know if I'm sure I've played that video before, but I don't know if there's something you both have seen before as well. But
yeah, I think they've learnt the lesson as well with Keir Starmer coming back in. That was basically, it's like, all right, you've had your fun trying to push it to that extreme, and now we realize we need to kind of rein it back in, because you had a similar thing. Was it the what they call the Democratic something of America, and they had their conference, and it was, it's like a point of personal privilege. You're using the term guys, which is gendered, and and obviously it's a dude with a beard, wearing a dress. Yeah, and it's like, oh, I can't believe you've gendered some text, and also can people stop clapping? And it's like Labour had exactly the same problem here, and it was basically at the same time. And they've kind of had their heyday of being put out to the public. The public clearly rejected them. They also just kind of collapse inwards on themselves, because these people are all mentally unstable. So you're not going to be able to actually produce political power from them. And then Labour apparatchiks are basically, it's like, all right, cool, get this guy in. He's nice and safe. He's not going to, come out with any crazy pro-Palestine comments or anything like that. And now Steer's just steering the ship into mediocrity, basically making Labour inoffensive again, which they're hoping to basically win back the white working class by just keeping the mouth shut and letting the Tories kind of do a worse job, and then Labour's going to come back and be like, hey, remember us? Yeah, we're not as bad as them guys, right? And we get back into the who's the better of two evils kind of thing, and it's like either way we don't get what we want, but Labour's making better noises in this election. No, Tories are making better noises in the next election. I mean, don't be surprised if the next general election you do have some kind of radical Labourites saying, we need to get back to the white working class, and they're going to try pull that one on us. And yeah, sorry.
No, that's totally fine.
Laura's just looking at me like it's like you're rambling.
No, that's totally fine. I completely agree with that as well. So I do remember that video in America where someone was just like, what was it said? Like, please do not use gendered language to such and such or something like that. Like personal privilege or point of personal privilege. I actually thought that was like a parody or like some form of satire. Like I didn't think for a minute like it was completely real, but no, it was complete. It was 100% legit. Even the guy who was there was just like this is a pro. What was it he said? It was like, this is damaging to my anxiety or something like that. And it's like, but mate, you're in a you're in a hole with other people and you're speaking right in front of them. How is this damaging to your anxiety or anything like that? But I don't think we've come to the point now when it comes to those kinds of people. It's like we shouldn't take them seriously anymore or anything like that at all. At this point, to me, they're nothing but useful idiots, really, for the for people in the case of, like, I would say, like, the establishment who are just using them as like useful idiots and just to promote some kind of lefty agenda at this point on. Because I know that they were like quite prominent back in the day, like even like post Gamergate and all of that. But at this point in time, I don't think anyone would really take them any more seriously or anything like that at all. So, but. Anyway, even of course, someone in the chat, I think Peter Walker says jazz has no clapping. Yeah, that was also part of that as well. So, there's another comment from Good Guy. They write, Starmer is a doormat for Israel. Would that be accurate to say or not?
We had an article on the PA website actually, which was all of his links to Israel and all of the sort of Jewish charities and organisations that he supports. Isn't his wife Jewish as well? Sam, I think Keir Starmer's wife is Jewish as well, and wasn't his introduction speech as well? I think it was very pro sort of. We've left that era behind us now. Our focus is making sure that the Jews in the country are happy.
I think he apologised for Corbyn.
Yeah, he apologised, didn't he, and said our priority is making sure that these people feel safe in our country. What about the white people? Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. What about the indigenous people of these islands? Oh well, no, they don't matter. Everyone's British at the end of the day. As long as you've got a British passport, then there you go. Yeah, that's something that Ricky Doolan once told me in the past. But no, I think it's a bit funny when it comes to the Labour Party. I mean, obviously the damage was already done. They're trying to rebuild themselves. It's like, well, yeah, that was back then. This is now. This is like the brand new Labour Party. Like, of course, we're not focusing on actually helping out the working class, people who we claim to support for many years. Well, of course, did, but then decided to change all of that recently. But yeah, it's just for me. It's just really funny to see like all these like political parties, especially with Labour, when it comes to that. But yeah, that's that regarding to Keir Starmer. I will say though, to be honest with you, I did. I still remember. I still enjoyed that interview. Well, I don't know if you want to call it an interview that Jodie did when she called up. Was it LBC when Keir Starmer was on? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. What was her name? She chose a different name, didn't she? Gemma from Cambridge.
That was pretty.
Yeah, that was iconic. That was like the best gripe of the year. She caused infighting in the Labour Party. She caused them to issue a statement disavowing it.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, just to cause a rift within establishment politicians, all you basically have to do is nail them down on a topic, because they are so kind of mealy-mouthed, and it's like no one's got a kind of like I'm all about this nowadays. It's like it's all just kind of like, oh, on these topics and everything. You basically, as a politician, that's your job, is to, basically hold your hands up and be like, I'm not touching anything, all right? I'm not touching anything. I'm not going to do anything. And it's like, everyone's like, all right, cool. And then, all the little rats can scurry around doing their, their own little concerns. And then it's like, what she managed to do was like, I'm going to need an answer on this, Keir. And he just kind of went, okay, I'm on this side. And it's like, immediately, it's like half the rats who are scurrying back go, whoa, what? And it's like, oh, and then boom, yeah, fall out. And it was really, really good.
Excellent.
By the way, The reason why I keep jumping is because the baby has started to kick, and she's like absolutely battering me. It's like really powerful kicks inside my stomach, like every 30 seconds, and every time she does it, it makes me jump. It's so weird being pregnant. So that's why I keep kind of going, oh, on camera. It's not because like I'm having a heart attack or anything, so don't worry.
My hot takes smacking you across the face. Oh, what?
Yeah.
I can't.
I can't handle these hot takes.
I don't know if I've heard about this earlier on, but is it? I'm assuming, of course, what you said, Laura. I know this maybe is silly to ask, but I'm assuming the baby is going to be a girl. Is that correct?
We're actually raising it gender neutral.
Yeah, we're having a girl.
Excellent. And when is the baby due? Is it meant to be this December coming, or?
Yes, sorry. This December, it's supposed to be the 23rd. Did they revise the date to?
Yeah, it was Christmas Day, but then when we had the scan, they measured the size of the baby and said that probably 2 days earlier, so the 23rd of December.
So it's like, God damn, have you seen the size of the head? And I was like, exactly.
We're both quite tall though, aren't we? You're 6'2".
Yeah, and you're 6'3".
I'm 5'7", which I think is quite tall for a girl. So yeah.
Excellent. It's good, big baby. No, that's excellent. That is excellent to hear regarding to that. I think I've already said congratulations to both of you on the stream before, but no, again, that's good to hear regarding to that. Another thing I also kind of want to bring up as well regarding to because both of you are my guests for the show, as I've seen, I think Laura, it was on your Telegram, or if it was on the official Grandma Towler's Tea Telegram page, where you both made the announcement that it's not just going to be in the UK, but it's Grandma Towler Teas is now going to be shipping over in America. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have a US distributor now, and we've not made the name of the organisation public yet. We'll have to speak to them and find out if they want us to do that. But it's a white positive organisation that people might already use. So what we do is we ship over a batch of tea like every month, or we're going to figure out how often. And if there are customers in the United States who order tea from us, usually we'd ship it over and it'd take maybe 3 weeks to get there. Shipping's really, really expensive. But now the shipping is much cheaper because it's been shipped from within America, and it should get there within a few days. So it's good because we have a lot of support in America at Patriotic Alternative, and for me and Sam as well as individuals and Grandma Towlers. So it's nice that we can give them some decent prices rather than paying really extortionate rates.
No, that's really good to hear. I'm glad to see that most of our nationalist brands, like Grandma Towler, I usually call it Granny Teas or Grandma Towler's Tea regarding to that. I'm happy to see that's growing. I'm also happy to see that Jody and our Claire's soap brand is also being very successful as well. Again, it's really good to see that as well with that. So I'm just overall happy that all these brands are growing, with all of that. So yeah, it's really good to see. I think I remember seeing Grandma Towler Teas being promoted by the National Justice Party members like Mike Enoch. I think it was like another Telegram post I remember seeing it on. So I kind of did see that maybe it was like a glimpse of maybe this is really popular in America. But again, it's nice to see that Grandma Towler Teas has got an American distributor, and hopefully it'll be a lot more successful as well in America as well. So again, that's just really good to hear. So
thank you. Yeah, we had a stand at the NJP conference. There was a Grandma Towler stand there. Obviously, me and Sam didn't go over because it's America. We're not vaccinated, and all that stuff. But there was a stand there selling the tea, and we have a really good relationship with NJP. We support them, they support us. We've streamed together before, so yeah, it's good to have these relationships with nationalists in other countries.
Yeah, we're hoping to, like TGI Fridays is like in Britain, but it's full of American tat. We're hoping to kind of launch Grandma Towlers over in America, and it just be a restaurant full of like British tat, just like a picture of London Bridge and red phone boxes and stuff like that. but yeah, they've been really good, and we really appreciate the likes of I think Warren Bailoff been sharing our stuff and Grammar Towlers and everything. I think what was that video that we did for the Americans, where we're like, oh, we got US shipping, and then we're talking about pounds and stone and all this kind of stuff, and it's like completely over their head.
Excellent. No, again, that's just really good stuff to see. Really good stuff. Let me have a look here and see. Sorry, I'm also just trying to keep in track with the time, because I know that Laura, you said that you both need to go. What was it, 7:45 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken?
I have a Zoom call with some ex-UKIP people at 8:00. So yeah, I'm not sure how that will go. I'm not sure if they're supportive or not. But yeah, I have that at 8:00, so I'm going to dip out at 1:15 because I'm actually supposed to start the stream by giving a bit of a speech, and I haven't written anything yet. But I don't know if you can stay till 8, Sam, or if you want to drop out when I drop out.
Well, I'll be in the same room as you.
This one finishes at 8, so...
Oh, I'm muted. I know this one finished at 8, but your show start... Oh, I see, because you don't start at 1:15. Yeah, I can hang around. Me and Chief Moody. We'll start a new lifestyle show. Don't need you anyway, so...
No eagles, ever.
Well, that's all right then. I mean, that's totally fine with that as well. I'm just trying to think like other ways to maybe try and promote other people's like shows at the moment, because usually around about this time what I normally do, since it's getting a bit late, well, not lately, but it's coming towards the end of the show anyway, but normally what I do is I would kind of try and interact more with the people in the chat, maybe answer some questions, reading out some messages in the chat with that as well, and also try and promote other people's streams either going on tonight or throughout this week. I know that there's going to be a PA update tomorrow. What time will that start, Laura, if you don't mind me asking, for tomorrow's episode?
Sorry. She's proper battering me. It really hurts. It's at 7:00 tomorrow, and it's the August update. So we talk about everything that's happened throughout August, give the figures, recruitment figures, that kind of stuff, talk about what all the regions have done. And then we talk about plans for the future. And we've got the big autumn project to launch and announce. And obviously we're going to reveal the winner of Indigenous Peoples Day as well.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll definitely be tuning into that. In fact, no, wait a minute. Well, I'll be going out tomorrow night. Well, not out, but because Cyborg dropped me off the drone for Sunday, I think I'm going to be meeting up with someone tomorrow evening, just so that they can help me out how to work at the drone. I've got the app before on my phone, but obviously I need to learn how to actually control the drone, how it flies, and
connecting them is like the biggest pain in the arse. It's like God help you if you ever need to just flip it on quickly and get it up in the air. The one I've got for PA Yorkshire, it's just like every time I turn it on, it's like, oh, I've never connected to this before, and you're like, oh, for the love of God. And then if you're doing the controls as well, I don't know if you're a video gamer, but the one that it was preset to was the most awkward controls, and then there's another control scheme, like there's presets you can change them to on most of them, and the one I've got it on, it basically it controls like a first person shooter video game, except instead of looking up and down, it moves up and down. But it's like now with that you can fly it around really quick and everything, control it. I need to do something with that drone, because it was supposed to be for White Lives Matter Day, and then my plan completely fell through and collapsed.
And you were supposed to take it to the camp, and you forgot it.
No, I brought it. I forgot to put a memory card in it. So it was essentially just a really expensive video camera that was just flying around but couldn't record anything. So it's kind of a letdown. So remember your memory card.
Well, I'll make sure to bring that with me as well. I just hope that nothing bad happens or anything like that at all, because where we're going tomorrow, just to give it like a test run, is there's going to be like a big park. There's like a massive lake that's kind of further a distance from where it is. So I'm hoping once I start using that, it doesn't go all like kind of like flying all over the place and then probably land in the lake. I just hope it doesn't come to that point. So but we'll see. Hopefully nothing bad happens or anything like that at all with the drone. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
So.
There was someone, I think I was practicing in the park, and some guy came over and said that him and his son, I think his son flew into a tree and then it kind of spiraled out and landed in this lake, and his son like jumped in, tried to find it, but it was gone. But yeah, it's that's kind of the danger is that you could just disappear. I mean, they've got like a stupid range as well, but it's like you can go 400 feet in the air legally, and it's like I've taken it up to like 80 and you can't even see it. So at 400 feet, you'd just be gone, and if it got caught in a wind or something like that and just disappeared, then hopeless.
Oh dear. What I'll do just now is it's just come up to 6:45. I'll see if I can read out a couple of messages in the chat. Like we talked about other streams happen either later on tonight or even throughout this week. Whoop Whoop in the chat says Morgoth is on White Rabbit Radio at 8:30 p.m. guys. So there you go. For those who want to see more content from other nationalist content creators. One person said in the chat for you, Sam, from Alligator Snapping Turtle, they read, get 2 drones, attach a White Lives Matter banner to them and fly them high in the sky over town center. Then there you go. So that's a good idea.
Have to be a very light banner. They're not the best at carrying weight.
I see. I'm sure someone can figure something out with that. But it's a good shout nonetheless regarding to that. So
you can get massive ones that carry. There was a woman telling me that some drug dealers were basically using a drone, and there's like the police were like chasing it around, but then they'd lose track of it or whatever. But it was basically like landing in suburban areas and then taking off, and just and it's like apparently it was part of some drug ring or something. way ahead of Amazon in that regard.
Of course, but people using drones for all kinds of purposes now at this point. But that's good to know. So again, hopefully this drone I'll be using will be all right to use. So, but again, we'll just need to wait and see. There's just one question Budgie Burger asked in the chat, which is pretty interesting. And I don't know if you both want to weigh in on this question as well, but they ask in the chat, any thoughts on Morgoth getting attacked on NWG? I'm assuming that's No White Guilt, if I'm not mistaken.
I haven't. So did Jason attack Morgoth? Is that what happened?
I think that's the.
Or is it confusion? Is it when someone had spoken to Morgoth about like European bioenergy, and it was just like, what do you mean? It's like, it sounds like someone I'd put in my lawnmower. I mean, if that's what he attacked, whichever way round it was, it's it's just one of those things where it's like,
no, I think it is. It was because obviously no White Guilt has the going free lexicon, and I think Morgoth had used a word that one of No White Guilt's fans said that you shouldn't use or something. I think that's
Faustian, because it had negative connotations and therefore people wouldn't. I mean, I don't understand just because he's using big words, let alone the connotation.
And someone was giving Morgoth grief saying you should. No White Guilt says you're not supposed to use that word or something like that. But I don't think No White Guilt is like. I mean, is he telling people what to say?
No White Guilt's come out and said it's like you're not supposed people. To. Don't go after people. Yeah. They're not using the lexicon. It's not supposed to be like you're what's it called, proselytizing when you go out there and everything. But it's one thing. It's like it's a fucking sorry. Really sorry. I was just saying, it's like it's just he's a working class guy from Northeast. That's probably not the person who you start your introduction with. It's like, mate, you should be using European biospirit. It's like they're just going to go, what? It's like if you've got to come out on a different level, and especially when someone's not run into that lexicon before, it just sounds like you're taking the piss, to be honest.
Nah, dear. Well, I just hope it doesn't escalate to something bigger between the two. I mean, I hate to see other like content creators like No White Guilt or Jason or even Morgoth or anyone like that at all like falling out. Like, well, I don't know if you want to call it like a fallout type of thing, but just like disagreeing with each other on like the most like trivial things like possible. Because I think what is majorly important for everyone in our side of the fence is of course the future for our own people, that sort of thing. We may have our agreements and disagreements here and there, but at the end of the day, if we really want to see change going on, especially with these immigrants coming into the country, then I think we should definitely put our differences aside and actually start focusing on what's really important, which is the future of our own people, that sort of thing. But
That's definitely, yeah. If people are doing good work, they're doing good work, and both of those people are doing great work. This movement is pretty big. We shouldn't all be friends with each other. That would be kind of weird if absolutely everyone was like, "Oh, I'm just pals with everyone." It's like there's going to be people you don't like, but in that case, you don't watch their content or whatever. It's quite as simple as that. It's you don't have to be everyone's best friend.
Of course, no, I totally agree with that. Totally agree. Let me see here just now. I think what I'll do is just a bit of an update with Sunday's show, because like I said earlier on, that of course, hopefully I'll be streaming this coming Sunday. I hope it's not like last week where I did say I was going to stream on Sunday as per normal. I stream Thursday, Sundays, but this past Sunday couldn't be able to because I was out doing litter picking with some lads at PA Scotland. So hopefully I'll be back in time to do the Sunday episode 24. I'm not entirely too sure of, but if I will manage to produce episode 24 live, my next guest for that evening will be, as I said, Urban Durbar. So hopefully that'll be a pretty decent episode. And then, of course, see from there. So I was even also going to ask as well, because I was also going to say, just real quick, I kind of want to bring more guests onto the show as well. And I'm sure that maybe people in the chat are interested to know, but would there maybe be other people you'd be interested in seeing at the show at some point by any chance?
Is this asking the chat or asking us?
Oh, sorry. I should be clear. Sorry, I was just looking quite. Maybe I could put it to both of you, like you and Sam, and also people in the chat, if anyone in particular would be interested in sort of thing.
Do you know what? I like to see new people. People who are new to nationalism telling their story, or people who are doing good work, but they're maybe not e-celebs. I like to hear from them. What was a guy on Mark's show last night called? He was really good. And I've never heard of him before, but he was really good. And I was like, this is interesting. So you've got your characters, I was going to say. You've got your people who are big draws, like Morgoth does well. Obviously, Mark Collett does well. Like these big sort of famous nationalists in the United Kingdom. And I like listening to them because I like them. They're my friends, that kind of stuff. But I do enjoy, I think, listening to someone new a little bit more, because it's nice to be introduced to their story and their opinions and maybe get some new takes and that kind of stuff. So I would say maybe find people who are just starting out on YouTube or who are just starting out in activism and that kind of stuff and help to build them up a little bit.
Excellent. I think I've got an idea of who I can maybe bring on if that's the case, if it's going to be new people or anything like that at all. So maybe I can have a word with them at some point if I do see them as well, and then we'll see from there. So, but I also just noticed the time that it's just after 6:45, or sorry, quarter to 8, I should say. Sorry, my bad. Laura, do you want to have the last word before you leave the show by any chance?
I will drop out now because I've given myself 10 minutes to write a speech. Do you know what? I'm just gonna have to blag it out. I'm just gonna have to say hi guys and just.
We'll film it like YouTube challenge video.
It'll be good practice.
I wrote a speech in 10 minutes.
Just thanks for inviting me. I've enjoyed talking to you, and I hope we answered the questions okay, and I hope the audience liked the stream. I'll be back tomorrow night with Mark at 7:00 for the PA monthly update for August. And obviously during that stream, we'll be announcing the winning region of Indigenous Peoples Day. Will it be Scotland or will it not?
I'm pretty sure it's Scotland, but we'll see. We'll definitely see.
Clearly biased. That's what Simon really came around for us to like palm you 100 Scottish pounds or whatever.
I'm going to quick leave the studio now, but it was nice to talk to you, and I'll see you again soon. Bye to everyone in the chat.
Bye.
No worries, Laura. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Excellent. Well, there you go, folks. That was Laura Towler. I want to thank you very much for appearing on the show. Definitely, that will not be the last time we'll see of her on the show. Definitely, I'm going to bring her and of course, you back on the show at some point, Sam. We'll just, of course, see from there for a future date. I've also just seen people in the chat, of course, people responding to for Laura leaving when it comes to that. Budget Burger, real quick. Brilliant. Always good to see and hear Laura and Sam. Well, there you go. That's good to see that. Great guest tonight. Thanks, Laura and Sam. Well, there you go. Excellent. I'm glad to see a very positive responses for tonight. There were quite a few people in the chat that I was a bit kind of taken aback to the comments being made, but of course I'm trying not to like address it or anything like that at all. But
don't worry about it, mate. They're in everything that Laura or Mark does. They're just following around and nipping at the heels.
Let's see here. P would the good crowd, but yeah, it'd be like that old music video. What was it? It was like all these crabs. It's meant to be kind of like a dancing type of. It's been memed. Crab rave, yeah, it's been memed to hell. I know, like that sort of thing. But yeah, so let me have a look here and see. PA would get my vote. Well, there you go. Thank you very much, Dr. Jimmy. Banksy C, Chief, Laura, Sam, great stream. Thank you. Well, thank you very much for watching, Banksy. Of course, we're not ending the show just yet, although it's got a couple of minutes to go. There's one from Alligator Snapping Turtle. Chief, maybe bring on Call It next. Yeah, Mark Collett again would be a very good guest to come on. I think Laura did make a great point there, was bring more people either who are not really that well known or not really e-celebs, but they do content, but they're not really like relatively well known, which to be honest, that is definitely a good idea, because obviously it's easy to bring people on like Mark Collett or your Laura Towlers or your Sams or Morgoths, so on and so forth. But it'd be nice to see a bit of a shout out and also a bit of a spotlight for people who do make content or not necessarily famous, but would be coming on the show at some point. So because of that, I think I got an idea who I can actually bring on. In fact, I actually should have asked them when I first met them in person. Not going to, of course, say who they are. They do make content from time to time, so maybe it could be interesting having them on the show at one point. But again, we'll definitely see from there. So I was just going to say, so I was just also kind of just seeing the chat again as well. So hi, better late than never. Well, thank you very much for watching English Weather. Saucy Killing Angels. Good to see you that as well. Steve Cray, get Tony Blair on, Chief. I highly doubt he would come on the show.
He's appearing everywhere nowadays.
Oh, is he? Oh,
I can't get rid of him. We thought he was dead and he's come back.
He's resurrected from the grave, apparently.
Yeah, he looks like it as well.
Oh, well, I mean, that would be interesting to see. So, let me see. Actually, here maybe another interesting question I could ask you, Sam, because I know that Laura has done the debate with Ricky Dillon before, but would you ever engage in debates in the future or at some point?
Oh God, I'm not so good on my feet. It's the thing. It's like, I mean, with Ricky Dillon, it was kind of like, she was just botching the speed bag at that point. When you got someone just going on, their whole argument is children can learn things. That's not too bad. But like someone like I don't know, I ain't got the patience for it as well. Like if someone like Destiny, like the way he talks is like that kind of high school debater style, where you just talk really, really fast, and it's kind of like, I'll just stop right now. That's really annoying. It's like you're gonna have to stop. And yeah, it's I think I don't mind doing it, but there's so many people who are better than me at doing it that it's like to step in. I might just make a complete tool of myself and embarrass myself. So it's like I'll probably say, nah, I'm all right. It's like I can have a conversation. I can even have an argument with someone over this stuff, but the idea of debating, with all the prep and everything that goes in, I don't even prep for my own show, so let alone debate, so I just kind of wing it.
Just see how it goes from there. So, Excellent. I've just also noticed a couple more people in the chat as well. Well, there's Jojo Gizmo. I'll just read out real quick. It would be great to see the Iconoclast do a chat when he's ready to come back. Again, it's a good shout.
He seems to be coming back, doesn't he? He was on with the
Yeah.
Morgoth last show or something, which is good. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he's going to do, because I know he left saying, like, I've kind of said all there is to say, and then he's come back and now he's saying, what else is there to talk about? And I can kind of understand that, because I mean, we do like a lifestyle show on a Monday, and it's like politics just kind of creeps in because it's intrinsic in like almost everything we do nowadays. Everything has some sort of kind of political left or right leaning in terms of action. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he decides to do, if he goes back to videos or if he just supports in the background or what. But I know the northeast branch of PA is kind of starting to take off now. We've got some really good activists up there, so who knows, he might even join in there. We'll start seeing him at meets.
Yeah, you never know. But I think when it comes to Iconoclast, it's nice to see him come back. I know that he did. I think it was just before when was it he left? Because I think he kind of went away when I was just becoming a member of PA, or even just becoming like an ethno nationalist. But then when I became that's when he kind of started to leave, and it was gone for a bit. But no, like, I'm happy to see him come back, and hopefully he comes back sooner than later. But we'll just need to wait and see really with that. Just one last comment to read from Streaky Bacon. Get Stormzy on Chief. That'd be interesting to see Stormzy on the show. I don't know how don't know how that would go, but anyway. Oh God! Someone in the chat, RW gets Sargon of a Smergan on. I doubt Sargon of Akkad would be. I think there'd be a point where I will not start an argument with Sargon, but just
on the cook. What is it? Step here now. Laura's just jumped on the show and just immediately started recording. So I was like, right, okay, I guess I'll take off then.
Oh dear, it's like I'm recording. Oh, okay, I'll just leave. So, oh dear. And I also see Steve Cray also writing 8 million doing. So English weather, yes, get Blair, and we can tell it what we think of it. Well, there you go. Mark Collette at Chief Moody. There we go. Never forget the 8 million. The bread tuber rabbit hole. Chief Moody, can you get Charlie Big Potatoes on? Well, that'll be interesting to have him on at some point.
Charlie would probably do it, yeah.
Yeah, I think Charlie would. Yeah, probably do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that'll be interesting.
I guess to get him not to swear though on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, with when it comes to the live streaming on my show, I don't think I have any right to say like be careful with swearing, because I swear like a sailor on my show. But so that's just me regarding to that. So, but anyway, but it's totally fine regarding to that. So, but no, there's a lot of interesting names popping up, like Duke of Durham.
Speaking of Duke, we saw him recently. He's kind of he's had to step away because of his job, but he's still in good spirits, and he's got a very nice girlfriend as well, who we met as well. So they're still going strong up there, and yeah, just keeping on. So, but yeah, just not active at the moment. But I think he still does his what are they called? The folklore shows or whatever that he makes. But yeah, he's doing very well.
Excellent. So let me see, what time is it now? Right. Well, I think it's just 1 minute till 8 o'clock anyway. So of course I usually do a stream for 2 hours, and we'll just come to an end with that. But yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll just end the stream just now. It was actually better than I thought it would be, because of course, as I said, I was a bit nervous. I was a bit nervous having the both of you come on, because I know that both of you are much well known and of course well respected within the community and all of that. So I was just thinking in the back of my mind, right, don't mess this up. Don't mess this up whatsoever. So
have you watched our show on the Monday? It's madness.
I watch it from time to time, yeah, from 7 o'clock till 8:30, yeah. Mm-hmm. So It's good stuff. So I guess I can also say with that, definitely check out Sam and Laura's accounts like Odyssey and all of that. You can definitely check out their weekly live streaming show, which is Tea Time with Sam and Laura, which streams from 7 o'clock p.m. till 8:30 in the evening, which of course is really good stuff. Of course, check them out with that. Definitely check out Laura's appearance on PA Updates tomorrow evening from 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock. If I'm not mistaken. I did ask Laura this early on, so I definitely want to make sure with that. But no, that's good. Excellent. Excellent. Perfect. Of course, there definitely will be like an update for Sunday's show for Mood of the Nation for episode 24. Because I also just want to say, I also mentioned this on episode 24 as well with my guest appearance. Well, no, sorry, my guest coming on the show being Urba. After episode 24, that's where I'll have a week and a half long break from streaming and all of that. It's just because I thought 24 episodes in, almost 24 episodes in, it's a good thing to maybe kind of take a small break from it and then come back feeling refreshed and all of that. So,
sounds good.
Definitely, we'll keep it.
Yeah, do the same thing. 24 episodes in then as well.
Yeah, it does get a bit much after all of that. So, but hey, I'm really surprised that we're almost at episode 50, which is kind of crazy to think. But hey ho, but yeah, so definitely check all that stuff out. Any updates from my end or anything like that at all, of course, I'll keep you guys posted through other platforms like Telegram, Twitter, Gab, and all of that. I'll also share the links for future episodes with PA Updates, which will be tomorrow, and also for Sam and Laura's stream on Mondays. I normally do that as well. And that's pretty much it with that. Yeah, so it's all good. Of course, also, Sam, what I also normally do is I usually end the show with like a song kind of thing, as I normally do. So because I thought, I know Laura's not here because she had to go early, but since you're still on the show just now as a guest, I figured because you're the guest of the show, would you like to select a song to play us out with this fine evening?
What is it? Just anything you can find on YouTube?
Anything you can find on YouTube, yeah. So
I've just rapidly pulled up my what's it? Spotify, and oh god, I've got to make something good here. Tell you what you can find. I'll drop in a thing. It's called Tans mit Leibach.
Right.
I think that's the song.
Excellent. Let me see.
There you go.
Here we go. Perfect. Let's have a look. Yep, there we go. That's fine. So let me see if I can copy that and paste that. If it's also, I don't know if I actually heard this before, but I might have, but again, I'm not entirely too sure. But if it's a good song, maybe I can save that in my music and then obviously play it for future episodes.
Wait till you hear it, see if it's your vibe. It's my vibe.
I'll definitely see here. Just go type it in this. Copy and paste it in the search bar and see from there.
Yeah, it should give you the official video there.
Right, perfect. Got that here. Excellent. Well, what I'll do is I'll also share the screen as well. I'll also put myself on mute before the song plays. But I just want to also say, just real quick, Sam, I want to again thank you, both you and Laura, for appearing on the show. Obviously, as I said, this won't be the last time. I'll definitely have you guys back on a future episode, whether it be some time down the road or maybe for the special 100th episode. I don't know, but we'll definitely see from there. But yeah, we'll definitely see from there in the future. So but again, thank you both very much for showing up as a guest. I want to thank everyone in the chat as well for watching the episode as well, and I'll be back this Sunday from 6 p.m. till 8 p.m. As I said, any updates or anything with that at all, I'll keep you guys posted with that. Tune in to tomorrow's PA Updates with Mark and Laura. Please check out Sam and Laura's weekly show, Tea Time with Sam and Laura, on Monday, streaming on D Live and Odyssey, if I'm not mistaken, and see from there. So, yeah, excellent. Any last words before we end the show tonight, Sam?
You can support us via Grammar Towlers as well. Tea, coffee, Earl Grey. We stock it all. American shipping's now a ton cheaper, and we'll have loose leaf tea in September at some point. So yeah, thank you for having us on, mate. It's been a really nice time. So have a great evening, everyone out there. No worries. Well, again, thank you very much. You take care, Sam. And with that,
Again, everyone in the chat, again, thank you all very much for watching this fine evening. This is Chief Moody signing out. You've been watching the Mood of the Nation podcast with myself and also my guests, Laura, Towler, and of course, Sam. Again, thank you very much for watching. Take care, stay safe, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.